The question of whether to ask, how do you feel versus what do you think? It may seem subtle, but it strikes at the heart of how we understand and guide others in their struggles. Our culture has become overwhelmingly feeling-led, where emotions have been elevated to the point of defining reality itself. This shift is evident not only in extreme cases, such as someone choosing to alter their gender based on feelings, but in everyday interactions that shape our perspectives and our decisions. It's a cultural shift that has been in the making for decades, where feelings are given preeminence over thoughts, leading us down a precarious path where subjective experience trumps objective truth. As Christians, particularly biblical counselors, we must be vigilant not to adopt this trend. Unfortunately, even within the Christian community, the language of feelings has seeped into our counseling practices. We often begin our inquiries with, "How do you feel about that?" or respond to statements of, "I feel," without challenging the underlying premise. This admittance is not a call to legalism or disregarding the emotions God has given to us, but rather to rightly order them under the truth of His Word. Feelings, while fundamental and essential, are often deceptive. They can lead us astray, clouding our judgment, distorting our view of God, ourselves, and our circumstances. When we prioritize feelings over thoughts, we allow our counsel to be driven by the winds of emotion rather than the steady anchor of God's Word. This truth can have profound consequences, leading individuals to make decisions based on fleeting emotions rather than grounded biblical thinking. We must intentionally shift our focus from feelings to thoughts to counter this trend. This shift begins with the questions that we ask. Rather than probing, "How do you feel?" we should ask, "What do you think?" This reorientation helps individuals to engage their minds, consider their beliefs, and align their thoughts with God's truth. When someone says, "I feel," and then fill in the blank, we have an opportunity to guide them to reframe their statement gently. What are you thinking that is leading to this feeling? This approach helps them to recognize the connection between thoughts and emotions and encourages them to evaluate their thoughts in the light of Scriptures. As biblical counselors, we must lead by example. We need to stop asking feeling-based questions and direct our counselees toward thought-based examination of their circumstances. This change does not diminish the reality of their emotions, but it helps them to see those emotions in the proper context. By doing so, we equip them to take every thought captive, to obey Christ, leading to a transformed mind that aligns with God's will. This shift from feelings to thoughts is essential in a culture that increasingly elevates emotion as the ultimate authority. By redirecting the focus to biblical thinking, we help individuals ground their lives in the unchanging truth of God's Word, fostering true transformation that begins in the mind and flows outward to every area of their lives.